Happy Hump Day to my capstone students. I wanted to drop in and give you guys a little bit of information about what's coming up. So I completed grading all of your initial annotated bibliographies yesterday. If you haven't been able to see your comments or feedback, please shoot me an email so that I can get the document to you. I used track changes in everybody's document, so you might need to turn track changes on your computer in order to see the comments. I inserted them as comments in track changes as opposed to putting them inside the actual text. So I wanted to remind you all that this Friday, by the end of the day, draft one of your literature review and project description is due. You will submit it through Blackboard. So if you go into Blackboard course content, I'm in course content. Sorry if that's making you dizzy. Here's the submission link. So you need to make sure and submit it here. I would suggest that you take some time and view this resource right here. This is a PowerPoint. When you open up, it will download as a PowerPoint. It talks to you about what a professional literature review is, and it's going to help you refine your work, not only for draft one, but for future drafts going forward. So view that PowerPoint before you complete your literature review and submit it to me. So I'm going to flip back over to the syllabus. Okay, so your first draft, I expect it to be 3+ pages in length, double spaced. It's going to include a description of your anticipated project before the actual literature review. So most of you have already written a description of your anticipated project for your annotated bibliography. You don't need to start over. If that project description is ready to go, just copy and paste it. I'm not trying to make you do double work. If I suggested you make some revisions, then make the revisions and then include that. And then after your description of your anticipated project, that's when you're going to go into your literature review. So it's probably going to be more than 3 pages because your project description was 1 to 2 pages. I want you to read over this assignment right here. Make sure that you remember a literature review is not simply a summary of the articles that you've read. Rather, it's an analysis. You're analyzing those articles and those edited pieces that you've read, and you're including the evidence from the readings that support your analysis and the project that you're proposing. You want to try and make as many connections as you can between and among the literature, because what you're really working to do is synthesize rather than summarize. So if 3 of the articles talk about one aspect, let's say virtual learning, then you would synthesize. Maybe you would have a paragraph in your literature review about virtual learning, and you would have that information in that one paragraph. So instead of it being a summary of article 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4, you're really looking for themes. So let's say virtual learning, affect in virtual learning, engagement in virtual learning. So you're synthesizing the information you find. So as you read them, you're looking for connections between and among the articles, and that's really what you're going to write about. So if you look, I'm going to flip back over to Blackboard. If you flip back over to Blackboard, let me move this over so it's centered. You'll see that I wrote right here. This is a draft. This is draft 1 of your literature review. So I know that it may have some errors in it. I won't dock you for errors, but what that doesn't mean that I don't want you to write to the best of your ability. So if you have a hard time proofreading your own work, which many of us do, then check with one of your peers in the class who you've already been partnered with and see if they'll help you read through it. You can also use the free edition of Grammarly. Use the tools in Microsoft Word. Read through it, please, before you submit it so you can make sure it doesn't have things like incomplete sentences or missing words, that kind of thing. Okay, so you guys are graduate students. I expect you to do your best writing, but I'm not going to count off for grammar. Um, I'm looking for about 3 to 5 sources. You've already found 5 sources for your annotated bibliography. However, if you choose not to use one of those 5 because it doesn't have relevant information, that's fine. You don't necessarily have to have 5 for this initial draft of your literature review, um, but you have already started toward that, okay? So that's what you're going to be working on. Now, some of you have indicated to me that you're having a hard time finding sources. I have emailed a couple of you, and I have put you in touch with Sean Valancourt, who is the education librarian over at the Anderson Library. He works specifically with our college. Sean is an expert at revising search terms to find the information that supports what you're researching. So here is his information. Sean Valancourt. His email address is right here, SVAILLANCOURT@UH.edu. You guys are welcome to email him. Let him know that you're in the Curriculum and Instruction MED program and that you're working on the review of literature for your capstone project. And he'll be able to help you if you need. Sean is a great person, so make sure to use him as a resource. That's all I wanted to tell you guys. Please let me know as we're going if you have questions. Remember that I am available during open office hours. I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the syllabus. I posted the links for Teams right here. The dates and times that I'm available on Microsoft Teams. A lot of times there's times that aren't reflected there that I'm available. If you just want to shoot me an email, I can open up our Teams meeting and we can meet. Several of you have taken advantage of that. Usually I just pull the Teams video conference up on my laptop and I have it going while I'm working. Drop in and talk to me anytime. We can talk about information for this course. We can talk about other stuff. If you just want to talk about what you're reading, I'm always game for those conversations. So I will be available on Microsoft Teams again tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 25th. So from 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll have it open. But if you need to talk to me at another time, I'm happy to do that. Just shoot me an email. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday. And I look forward to reading your submissions.